Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's Hearthstone Ranked time. Alright, rank 17. Still trying to get some more decent sort of games with my priest deck here. I don't know. Had a lot of weird games, not necessarily representative. It is harder to tell because the priest deck does sort of mix things up a bit more. Anyway, I think I've actually just tweaked it today. I think I took out one Blade Master and the Farseer, even though I was defending the 3-mana 3/3 that gains you 3 life. I was defending that in the comments and some of the previous videos, but I really wanted to get in the... I figured out the best low, like 1 or 2 cost creature, pretty much, was the 2/3... this guy, the Amani Berserker. So I put in 2 of them in exchange for 1 of my Blade Masters and 1 of those 3/3 Farseer guys.
Is someone injured?
I think it's helping to give me more of an early game, while not being totally worthless later on. I mean, he's pretty good if you can power word him. Nothing else. This is kind of awkward. It's going to be a lot more awkward if you have a way to, like, silence me. I've seen some priests play with silence, just like the 0-cost card that silences something. Man. Here's the tough choice. We both know I'm going to blow up his priest, because that's unacceptable. You can't have that. The question is, do I attack her once first so that mine is wounded, or not? The reason to attack would be so that... in fact, I'm doing that anyway. Anyway. The reason to attack would be so that mine would be damaged, and therefore on my next turn I would have the option of healing her and drawing a card. But, if my opponent has the pay 1 mana, do 2 damage priest spell, he would be able to kill her, whereas he can't while she has 3 toughness. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to gamble he doesn't have that card. Because I know when I make priest decks, very few of them actually include that card. If I was making a direct damage priest, I would probably play that. If I was playing with a whole bunch of spell power and all the deal 5 damage priest cards, I could work out, but yeah. So this is looking like... do I want to put all my eggs in one basket? I'm going to pay the 2 mana to draw a card anyway. I might as well put out the second priest. What's the worst that can happen? They both die? Okay. In the meantime, let's draw a card. And draw another card. And now you're big enough to kill this thing. Or my opponent draws a card. Not so great. But, I have some kind of half-assed board control, and I've drawn 2 cards already. That. Okay. And... coin... okay. Coin power word. Yeah. He's pretty big now. He's not likely to die anytime soon. That is for sure. Play myself a 5/5. He's pretty strong if I heal him. Or I could play the Demolisher and the Amani Berserker. I can't heal her if I play both of those, though. I could heal her and then just play the Berserker. I don't think he's going to do the job, though. I have a suspicion bad things are going to happen. But this only does 2 damage right now, even if he interfires it. If he doubles his toughness and interfires it, that's actually pretty bad. But there's not much I can do about that anyway. Except maybe draw more cards and try and get Power Word, or try and get Shadow Word Death. So, yeah, I'm just going to heal, draw 2 more cards. She can now survive 1 hit from him if he doesn't get buffed. This could be good later. That's a little bit too later. And yeah, I'll just play him.
Right away.
I have a weird draw this game. I've got all my most expensive cards and both Holy Novas, which are actually some of my most expensive cards now. I've actually cut the deck down to basically Ragnaros, Mind Control, 2 Holy Novas, and everything else costs 4 or less, I think. Well, that was kind of annoying. Okay. I want to, at some point, steal this guy with the Shadow Madness and then get him killed. Because that way I would get to keep the resulting guy. But I'm going to lose so much if I do that. Right now I would have to, because he got the +1/+1, I would actually kill both of my guys to get him down to 2 health to where I could trade them. On the other hand, that would allow me to trade them, it would clear the board. If I don't do that, I can Holy Nova, but I can't really do anything else. My guys just can't survive that taunt, so maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll suicide my army and trade it for his army, basically. But it's annoying anyhow.
Right away. Oh.
Squelch him in advance. And you see, because it was under my control, I get the death rattle, which stealing this is one of the top uses for Shadow Madness, just because it's fun. It's not long for this world, but man, it was fun. I'm not sure if that was really such a good play, because I'm certainly my situation doesn't feel better now; it feels worse. But I don't think I had any good way to manipulate the guys I had. Since the taunt creature was big enough to kill either one of them. Okay, what do I do about that? I can't blow him up with Shadow Word Pain because it can't be targeted. Holy Nova would be pretty excessive.
I wonder.
Do I ignore it? I mean, it can't be buffed or anything like that particularly. But it's big enough to kill the Blade Master. I can't just play the Blade Master and this, because then she'd kill the Blade Master. I could kill this and then play both of those. That's probably the strongest play. I don't have anything to buff the light spawns, so there's not much point in putting them out right now. Okay. Clear the board. Start fresh. I might regret not healing him immediately, but against a priest, there's not much he can do that would do 3 damage. He can do 2 damage pretty easily. 3 damage seems like it'd take a lot of effort. Unless he has weird, out-of-place charge creatures, which, I mean, there's no reason he couldn't have the 3-cost, 3/1 charge guy, but why would you if you're a priest? No, it's already squelched. That's right, I squelched him. He's thinking up a storm. We both have about the same number of cards, except I have 2 pretty damn good 3-cost minions in play. I really like the Demolisher for establishing board control, and it's survivable. I mean, it's like a 3/4. It has certain disadvantages compared to a 3/4, but it also has some advantages in the way it processes. Because it can bypass taunt, and which sometimes results in hitting the enemy player, which for me is not very beneficial most of the time, but... Why would you hit me directly? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you hit me with this? No, that play makes no... it's wrong. It just feels wrong. If I'd won the coin flip, if this guy had hit the bubble instead of the priest, this would be so... I can still make it work. Because what we do is we go Holy Nova. Maybe a little excessive, but it does heal this guy up. And then we kill you. We hit you for 1. And I'm not going to put any more stuff into play. I'm just going to heal you some more. We're basically back to where we started.
Today we're going to play a little game. Which 4G LTE
What
map has the most coverage? This isn't real difficult. Pretty obvious to...
Screw you, Daily Show website, for auto-starting ads when I had paused the player. Paused it at the end of a video. I guess decided that, like, the video was basically done. Which was. But silence on my recording, you bastards. You rebel scum. So yeah, healing yourself doesn't trigger this. Which has been my bane a lot of times when I play a late game. I'm like, no, but I want to heal myself. But, I mean, still made sense to heal himself. Oh, he's going with the giant priestess thing. The problem is, when you inner fire, like, unless it has taunt, there's almost no reason to ever inner fire something on your turn. Like, as something that can't attack yet. You want to do it to things that can attack. Now it's big enough that I can Shadow Word Pain it. Which is kind of sad. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll pass on playing Ragnaros this turn, because I can do a lot. And...
That's not a valid target.
Oh, that's Shadow Word Pain. I was thinking Shadow Word Death. Duh. Should I just play Ragnaros? Because if he doesn't hit her, it's going to be pretty obnoxious. But what am I going to do otherwise? These guys would die to kill her. I still have enough mana I could Holy Nova again, which is like a waste. And he would still die. I have to Holy Nova. I'm thinking of Thought Steal, right? But I don't know what I'm going to get from Thought Steal. It's pretty random. You know what? Even though he's going to be able, he can probably kill something and draw a card. If I get unlucky, I'm just going to live with that. Whatever. Yeah, you fool! Clear the board when we're against a priest. Just unless it's a kill shot, clear the board. Don't do that. That's pretty bad. I can't mind control for another turn. That's even worse, but now you can't heal her anyway, so I don't know how that helps me. Yeah. So that was pretty miserable. Made some mistakes in hindsight, but like, how was I supposed to know? Those are not useful cards. All Shadow Word Pains, no deaths. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed now.
I must consider.
I'm kind of screwed now. I can't even put this out and buff it to draw cards. If I put this guy out and buff it, he's not big enough to survive Ragnaros. I guess I'll just get more targets out there, but this is... That was really obnoxious. Stupid Ragnaros missing. If he hadn't missed, it wouldn't be so bad. It would just be him and not this, like, directed death ball that's going to draw him more cards. That's what I guess I get. I had the mind control in my hand. I should have just waited one turn so that if Ragnaros got stolen or something, I could do it back. But it seemed more likely he would just die. The mighty Morphin jerk-off there was not expected. Why would you buff him? That doesn't do anything. You've used your Dark Iron Dwarf on him instead of on her.
I must consider.
Unless you're planning on silencing it, which I guess you could do. You could silence Ragnaros and go for the throat. I guess that's another interesting argument for keeping this just the silence card around. The costing 0 is nice when you do draw a lot of cards sometimes. You're playing with Mind Blast? Really? You're one of those priests? Okay, there we go. Friggin' finally. In a pretty much crappier position now, though. Do I literally, like, power word shield my opponent's creature? Because it'll screw me, probably, but it would give me a chance to draw a card. I think it's still a bad idea. I've got a little bit of leeway here. taking a couple damage. If I hadn't drawn the Shadow Word Death, then I'm pretty sure I would have been power word shielding this guy just to try and draw it. Ragnaros needed to die. Ow. So that was fairly painful. Now I can mind control, but it's not as favorable all of a sudden. That. Wait, you. I probably should have played him first, just because you want to draw the cards earlier in the turn. Power word and yeah, power word again. Increases your odds of survival somewhat. Interesting. So just sort of clinging to life right now. Opponent is still lower until this guy gets blown up or mind controlled or something, in which case it'll be worse. That's pretty bad. I could have interfired him, which is tempting because he did have taunt, but then he'd be vulnerable to Shadow Word Death, and you're just trading one set of issues for another, and spending the card if he did die. But no, this is really going downhill. That is not what I needed. I don't think I can pull this one out. Stupid 4. All these minions with 4 attack are immune to most of my priest cards. So now I do this. Probably dumb. It's probably just in time to get the Shadow Word Death. Well, he used one on my Ragnaros. Spirit, okay. And you got an interfire for that? No. Okay, interesting. Really? You had to hit that one. It's okay, I've got the Holy Nova now. This is not as bad as it looks. I guess I should hit that one first, because then I get the heal. I should have cast that first. That's a pretty weak-ass Twilight Drake, but whatever.
I dream and the world trembles.
Okay. Well, this guy's determined to make things interesting with his stealing my Ragnaros and then Super Dragon. And he got a card from her. I will soon get a card from her, but he gets to use one first. I don't think his card is going to kill me or destroy my entire army, though. I'm not all that familiar with her cards. 0 cost, power overwhelming, basically.
Mind if I roll need?
Which might be enough to just kill him. What you got? No, you're screwed. Got revenge for your taking my Ragnaros, that's for sure.
I shall bring you.
Die by your own stupid dragon. Yeah. Priests are crazy. Always, and the mirror match is always messed up, man. So I don't know if I played things intelligently there or what. I am not qualified to tell, unfortunately. All I know is that I won. And there were definitely some elements of luck on either side, I think.
Anduin versus Malfurion. I must protect the one.
The light shall bring victory.
Okay, what have I got? I'm going first. Blade Master. I'm going to get rid of the Thought Steal. I would rather have something that will do something now. I got lucky and I got one. He's pretty good power worded. Now he might just get blown up. That's not helpful now. You're later on. It's not supposed to show up this early in a game. Especially with the frequency that it does. But it's a chance to take. Okay, so the Fairy Dragon's kind of annoying because it can kill him, because I don't have a coin to make him big enough to win. But I'm going to play him anyway, because if this is a trade, it'll pave the way for my Blade Master. If he can't buff this easily, so we don't have to worry about that. Although if he had the that Panther card to give all his creatures +1/+1, I'm pretty good at predicting what would suck. Like, what would suck? That would suck. And there it goes. So now I can play a Blade Master, and he would get to murder that as well, which is pretty friggin' horrible. I guess I'm going to take the beats, and then next turn either he plays something I can use to kill this with Shadow Madness, or I play the Blade Master and Power Word it, and it would be tough enough to survive this theoretically, even though in practice he would just trade and then Kung Fu it. I don't know. Or I can just play this instead, actually.
Mind if I roll need?
That'll do the job. Thank you. And I will even steal his Death Rattle. That makes me happy. There's some confusion in the comments about a previous video. People not realizing that, that Shadow Madness is, you can only take creatures that have attack 3 or less, which is very important, because otherwise for 4 mana, it would possibly be the best card in the game. The best card in the game. Like,
Where shall I
if it cost 8 mana but worked on anything, it's arguable whether that'd be stronger or less strong than 10 mana Mind Control. Probably stronger most of the time. That's pretty unpleasant. There's a large bear. I can make this guy a 4/5, which, again, it runs into the problem that, yeah, sort of technically survives that, but not really. Best I can do is put out the Light Spawn, Power Word it, and hope to hell my opponent doesn't have a Silence, which he probably does. Like, if I were playing Druid in the, in Ranked, I would sure want to, like, if at all possible, make sure that I had 2 Keepers in my deck. The 2/4 guy who can either silence or do 2 damage when he comes into play. 2/4 for 4. Because those things are so amazingly versatile, flexible, and 2/4 is not bad stats. It's not big stats for 4 mana, but I'd much rather have a 2/4 than a 3/3. For 4 mana, anyway. Especially when it has, like, a good ability. That sucks. Yeah, he lost the coin flip, but it's still, still hosed me pretty good. Well, I guess I have to Holy Nova them now. I can't see much way around that. Kind of waste my whole turn, but what are you gonna do? It'd be nice to have the Blade Master out first, but it's not gonna happen. The Holy Nova itself got 2/1 on that, but I definitely lost some card advantage with some other stuff. Okay. One turn away from Ragnaros if I can set up some defenses or clear out his guys. And I can play the Blade Master and heal him. That would be 5 mana for a 4/5, which would be pretty good against this setup. But it wouldn't leave me enough mana to do the other things I want. I guess I'll do that and then Shadow Word this guy. I'd rather, if I could play both Demolishers, that would be fantastic. And I can, but then these guys would still beat them up. And I would need 1 more mana to do something about it. So yeah, we're gonna blow this up. And Blade Master, and turn him into a Yeti. Which is pretty good, because even if he, like, gives a Mark of the Wilds or whatever, the +2/+2 to this guy still won't work out that badly. So what will you do? What will you do? And will I draw a Shadow Madness so I can steal his battle, his thing again? Ah, no, you're so obnoxious. Actually, why am I complaining? No, if he's going to use the Keeper of the Grove, I'd rather he use it in this situation than some of the much worse situations I could be in. Not that he would want to silence Ragnaros. That would be silly. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know what that was all about. I was pretty much about to play Ragnaros, because I was just exploring my other options, but I don't know. It just went to open beta, so you don't know exactly when this happened, but that was like yesterday or something. It does mean that there are a lot more inexperienced people who are likely to just not care and quit and stuff like that, or get confused, but I hadn't done anything there to, like, make them quit, so I don't know. But we'll find out if I can get much further next time. Oh, I was on casual! That would explain some of the crappy players. Next time. Put the hammer down on that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and other gaming videos.